Here's our entire Scions of the Seventh Dawn crew, complete now with Estenian adding himself as it's an honorary Scion, as it were. But yeah, he's in it for the long haul now, and so he's going to be teaming up with us from this point forward. So, without further ado, it is now time for us to finally get underway the conclusion to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Let's go ahead and speak with Alice to take on the first of our main story quests entitled The Company We Keep. Alice can tell you you are itching to take the fight to the Telopharoi. Yeah, that'll be the force that we've been dealing with that's under Fandaniel and Xenos' collective order and thumb and whatnot.
Oh, Shinji, you're looking well. I'm taking you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you came hoping for tidings from Kral, I'm afraid we're still waiting, but we do have some odd scraps of news to share.
Do tell.
Scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks to no small part to Hori Boulder and the others. Meanwhile, talks of the Beast Tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by Uldar's progress to the Emulga, Gridania has opened negotiations with the Ixal, believe it or not.
Wow.
All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Telopharoi still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard.
So yeah, Alice will go into further detail in it with Shinji. And then sometime later, everyone else starts to throw in their 2 cents. Yeah, everyone discussing this in length. And then a door opens. Hello there. It's someone from Alamigo. Beg your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo and your attendance is humbly requested.
Oh, we were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda?
I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telopharoi in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. That's hope you're right.
So the Alliance will bring all of the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one considering the threat we face.
Indeed, my lady, and for their part, I am told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. Yeah, which means they want us in too.
To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically but practically. Pray inform the Alliance that we'll be honoured to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay.
Then I will bear your answer thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. And we'll look forward to seeing you there, as well as everyone else. And so as he goes, well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend?
I move that you and the Stormblood EDOC contingent. Given how long you have worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment.
I think we've all played our part in that little endeavor, don't you, Shinji? I agree. All present may rightly claim a seat, I do quite agree. But by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Emic will be there and rather not be interrogated. Yeah, I think he's still too embarrassed to show his face to him. Very well then. Well, those with the mind to hold the fort will get on with holding it. I suggest the rest of us make for Alamigo. Shall we? And so, let's do it. We're heading on back to Alamigo. As the Toru gives us a wave goodbye. So yeah, shall we? Yeah, of course, it will be a busy night tonight. Let's speak with the guard. We've been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? Indeed you shall. still, we're all here along with some of the beast tribes. All the scions are on one side of the table. All the leaders of the alliance are on the other side of the table. Lys doesn't really know what to think right now because the representatives of the kobolds, the Malja, and even the Anant are present currently. And then the door opens. And here comes the unexpected Elder Frixio, accompanied by representatives of the Vath, the Sahagan, the Ixal, and even the Vanu Vanu. Yeah, all of a sudden, Lys is so happy. Yeah, this is a lot of people in one room.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would!
Yeah, here's all you need to know on what's been going on since 5.5 started.
Ah! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay. Freed our people must be!
Calm down there, Yoda.
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
Is that really necessary under these circumstances there, Admiral? Yeah.
The prisoners. Would you see them slaughtered?
Yeah, Priest is not down with that thought.
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Yeah, and you both came from this pretty much the same location because you're both on the same island.
Y'Stola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome.
Stormek's definitely been working on his gift of the gab, that's for sure. Yeah, look at us all sitting along the sides of the table. And here are all of you. All 8 of you. Whoa! Calm down! Unless he's somehow been tempered from afar by one of those towers.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, everyone looked shocked look on their faces like, uh-oh. This better not be a bad sign.
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little Chrissy will have deals, perhaps. Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
Well, at least we got that much.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future as allies united in purpose.
I always wondered how the poor kobold's crown doesn't end up being too heavy on his head and crush it.
Ah! Make mock of the Ixal, the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets, pits brother against brother. Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept this!
Me!
Well, we got what they had to say, and they're certainly down with it. Yeah, look how excited they all are. Yeah, we're all have a reason to smile, except for
Taken a
Thancred.
while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it?
Yeah, her dream. She doesn't get to realize it 6 years on.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
I got a means of mass production of those? Yeah, hey Alphnode. What do you think of all this?
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal.
Yeah, as we saw what happened with Arnvald when he tried to save Fordola.
Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
How so?
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
Thank you. With your fancy fiery hat.
I see we are all in accord.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
Yeah, and Stormbook's like, you're gonna charge this to me? Yeah, Shinji's like, Yeah, I would call it the Grand Company of Eorzea, which is a pretty straightforward name. Or I could try and think of a name, and Alice will come up with it instead. So why don't I just come up with it?
But that's the name I...
Yeah.
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Yeah, apparently it took the words right out of Alphino's mouth.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
Yep, recorded on this day, the 25th of May in 2021. And Alphino's like, oh wow, tears for joy! It's like, I got something in my eye, man.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
I guess. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And so, away we shall go. Yeah, Alphinode's in here somewhere. Make sure we can actually target the guy. Because, of course, there are other NPCs in here too.
Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set upon these shores, and that I was as heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made and the lives lost, inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step, the first of many. Many and more.
Yeah. Also meant to use the Elder Seedseer's voice. Elder Seedseer, how we might be of service?
I seek Master Alphinode's assistance in a matter involving Gridani's neighbours, the Sylphs.
Why so?
I know that you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of primals, and so you will be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ashcan Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes.
Yeah, awkward position.
Just so. It is our hope that we may make use of the Sylph's established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the counsel of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force.
An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. So what do we do about it?
The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphanode. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm.
He's like, yeah, don't bring this up 6 years later.
In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves, which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests, and I have no wish to see this new endeavour suffer the same fate. Mayhap I ask too much of you.
Yeah, maybe.
Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations drawn on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphanode, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telophoroi and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends.
Pleasure as always, Elder Seedseer, to you and your guard.
Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out?
I believe I can do that. As if you have to ask, or I can't think of an excuse not to, so yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours will be a reassuring presence.
Of course, we know who really was seeing that.
I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it'll be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events.
Yeah, we can do that as the sun rises.
We should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way.
And so away they go. Now I have to wait for Alice to appear. Here she is.
So what's the plan, brother mine?
Yeah, Alvador's still stuck in there.
Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I propose is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Ordar, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might be later referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be the crucial question, namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together, and that this knowledge might help us to prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested.
Yeah, more or less.
That is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandon the cause will welcome my inquiries. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Some of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you, and let us reconvene in Gridania later on.
And so away goes Alice and Graha.
If you have no objections, I have a mind to begin by speaking with Riol and Alion. If memory serves, the two of them were attending an intelligence briefing at Castle Morion. Let us seek them out there.
Alright. So yeah, from one side of Girabanya to the other, off to Castor Morion. And upon our arrival, we'll see that everyone is all over here. Here's Riol, accompanied by Alion and an adventurer of some sort. Hello there.
Well, look who it is, and what brings you two here?
Wouldn't have anything to do with a big meeting, would it?
In a manner of speaking, I have been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves.
Yeah, specifically we need to tell you about this stuff. And you need to tell us stuff too.
So you want to know why we decided to stick with the songs, eh?
Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. Yeah, what about you there, Alion?
As I once explained to Shinji, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I had hoped to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it?
Nothing, that's what. As for my own tale, well, I've always thought the Scions had something in common with the old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Roy Border to Mr. Tataru, we've all of us got something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about.
I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Shinji. Could you...
I believe I can do that. Yeah. Give us your thoughts of the Crystal Braves, or why do you think they ended in failure? Let's not make this too much of a down moment. Well, its founding ideals was something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both.
Ours was quite a disparate band, and while I will never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts.
Yeah, his very sloppy efforts, as it turned out. Just a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We may look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Because the Toes sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door.
I see. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again.
And so with that, we take 2,189 gil for completing the first of the last quests.